Let us today see the need and the objectives of educational management. After studying this topic, you will be able to know the need of educational management and the objectives of educational management. To understand the need and objectives of educational management, we firstly need to know what do you mean by education. So let's focus on the definition of education. Education is a provision of series of learning experiences to students in order to impart knowledge, attitude, and skills with the ultimate goal of making them productive members of the society. Thus, education provides the learners with various opportunities in form of learning experiences so as to bring a positive change in their attitude, behavior, to impart them knowledge and the skills which are necessary for them to be part of a democratic society. According to Henry Fayol, to manage is to forecast and plan, to organize, to command, to coordinate and control. Fayol described management as a process of 5 functions such as planning, organizing, commanding, coordinating, and controlling. Management involves functions like coordinating, controlling, planning, managing, and organizing. When we apply these principles of management to education, then we arrive to the concept of educational management. Educational management is defined as that type of management which helps in the process of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling the activities of an institution, utilizing the human and material resources optimally to accomplish the functions of education in teaching, extension work, and research. Thus, educational management helps in the process of planning, executing, controlling, and directing the various activities in the institution. It also focuses on utilizing the human and the material resources available in the institution to its fullest potential. Thus, educational management focuses on accomplishing the goals in the various areas of teaching, learning, extension work, and research in an institution. Let us see what is the need for educational management. Why is it important to apply the principles of management in the field of education and how this can be achieved? The system of education needs to be more dynamic to provide the society with human resources that has specialized expertise and skills, values, attitudes, professional ethics so as to sustain and enhance the national development. In a country like India, educational management is important to withstand the changes made in the policies as the government changes. The educational system has to be uniform all over the country. Keeping that in mind, it is very important to have rules and regulation framed accordingly. Thus, the educational management plays a very important role in forming these policies and later executing them as per the national goals of the country. The purpose of educational management at institutional level is to create a congenial environment for attainment of the aims and objectives of educational system. One of the important need of educational management is to create a congenial environment in the institution, which will help all the members of the institution to work in proper coordination and thereby fulfill the aims and objectives laid down by the institutions. To make educational system more proactive by applying the techniques of management. The various laws, principles and theories as given in the management can be applied to the field of education, which will help to make education more proactive rather than reactive, and will focus on the smooth functioning of the institution. The knowledge of management will help to bring a qualitative change in the education system. Keeping in mind the changing scenario, the education system also needs to adapt the curriculum according to the needs of the society. The knowledge of management will help the education to frame its curriculum as per the needs and the goals of the society. The education system needs to frame the curriculum in such a way that it will help the learners to be better citizens of a democratic society. To prepare the teachers to become efficient leaders and managers. Inherently, teachers have got excellent content knowledge and mastery over their subject. But when it actually comes to executing different things, managing and control, they fail over there. So, the principles of management in the field of education will also help to train these teachers to become efficient managers. And in today's scenarios, teachers are not looked at just information givers, but rather they play a broader role of a manager. For that reason, we need to change the teachers' behavior, the teachers' views and beliefs, and make them more confident to be efficient managers. The education managers require specialized training to handle the admission process in today's competitive world. One of the problems what most of the educational institutions are facing in today's world is the problem of admission. With huge population and the demand, the educational institutions find it very difficult to manage the process of admission. Apart from that, there is lot of political pressure and the societal pressure also on the institutions when it comes to admission. With the principles of management, the education will be able to handle the admission process in a more efficient way. We need to have a forward-looking planning for our education system at institutional level. We need to have a long-term vision and a better foresight when it comes to planning the goals of education. Keeping in mind the changing society, the goals also need to be changed, taking into consideration what the future will be and what type of citizens will be able to fit into this society. We need to keep on changing the goals. The educational management will always help us in planning our future goals. To have more elite educational institutions in our country, for example, like IIT, which will help us for the progress and development of the country. The objectives of the educational management are as follows: helps in the achievement of institutional objectives to improve planning, organizing and implementing. The educational management will help in deciding and executing the objectives of the institution. In the process of executing the objectives, if it comes across any obstacles or problems, it will help to replan, reorganize and overcome the situation, creating and maintaining a good public image of the institution. For any educational institution to progress, it is very important to have a good public image. The educational management will help the institution in building a good image in the society. It will also help in marketing and advertisement of the institution. Maximum utilization of human and material resources, enhancing the efficiency of the institution. For example, there are many institutions who have ample of resources available, but when it comes to utilizing it, they fail over there. The educational management will help them to optimally utilize these resources. Like the computers available, we find that the government gives lot of funds to the educational institutions for upgrading their computer laboratory, for buying new equipments, but then later the institutions hardly make use of these resources available. The educational management will look into this aspect that the institutions make use of these resources available optimally and also upgrade and maintain these resources. It will also help in preventing the duplication of the work. When assigning the roles and responsibilities to the various members of the institution, proper care should be taken so that there is no duplication of the roles or the duties assigned to every member, and every member has got a definite role to play in the institution. Like the institution may require various subject teachers to handle different departments in the institute. While appointing, the institution should take care that the teachers are qualified for the roles assigned so that there is no duplication of the work done. We know that educational institution is a social unit which comprises of individual members working together. Every individual members will have their own views, values and beliefs. When working in a group, there might be at some point some kind of conflicts which may prove to be an hindrance in accomplishing the goals. Thus, the educational management will help to resolve these interpersonal conflicts and not keep these interpersonal conflicts above the educational goals. When working as a team member, it is very important to understand others, to know how others might feel, and work in cohesion for accomplishing the goals. If the members of the team don't have the we feeling, it would be very difficult for them to achieve the goals assigned. Thus, they need to keep their interpersonal conflicts at side and concentrate more on achieving the goals of the institution. Like for example, in a cricket team, when we see if the individual members are more focused on fulfilling their individual goals, then it would be very difficult to achieve the common group goal. So for the common group goal to be achieved, everybody needs to work together and fulfill the task. It enables the principal to understand his role and also for promoting more job satisfaction. The principal being the main leader of the entire group, it is important for the principal to know her role properly and also to take along all the other members of the institution. The principal also needs to look into the job satisfaction of every member in the institution. Finally, for every individual, being satisfied at his workplace is very important. If the individual is not going to have the contentment with respect to the work done, it would be very difficult for the individual to perform better and efficiently. Thus, the principal needs to look into this aspect and keep every member of the institution happy and satisfied. So today we have seen what do you mean by education, management and how, when you apply the principles of management to the field of education, it helps us in managing the various components of the education as a system. We have also focused on what is the need to have educational management and what are its objectives. Thank you.